Today we're going to show you how to disassemble a 1950 Farmall Cub in preparation for an engine rebuild. First, you drain the radiator. Make sure you catch all of that. It's just really bad for your pets. And then you drain the oil. Make sure you also remove your battery leads. Those are the wires that connect your battery to the electrical system. Then you remove the muffler, radiator cap, and breather cap. Also, the front radiator screen will need to be removed. This is showing removing the electric wire that connects to one of the electric lights. This is removal of the breather tube from the carburetor to the air cleaner, and this shows removing the choke control rod. This is removing the other wire from the other light. He's removing the cotter pin that connects the starter control rod and removing it. Then there's 4 screws that you'll need to remove at the back of the gas tank, and then you'll disconnect the fuel supply, and then the gas tank and hood are ready to come off. They're all one piece. And it's easiest if you have someone help you. Now he's disconnecting the electrical leads to the generator. If you're not super familiar with the wiring, you might want to mark your wires as you remove them. Now he's removing the spark plug wires, and on a Cub there is a ring that is affixed in position by one of the head bolts, and that's what they're removing right now. The upper and lower radiator hose is often so degraded and hard that you just want to cut it off to get it off of there. If you've renewed yours recently, you might be able to wiggle it off, but if you're doing a complete engine rebuild, put a new tube on anyway. And then here comes out the generator. And the generator adjuster arm. Your coil and voltage regulator will need to be removed as well. And you better grab that, guys. This is the thermostat housing or upper radiator tube. Here come the spark plugs in preparation for removing the head of the engine. And here comes the Donaldson air filter. This is a really great time to check the compression on your engine. Everything's exposed and it's easy to do. This particular engine turned out to have a cracked head, and we had 2 cylinders with very low compression. And here comes the carburetor. Intake and exhaust manifold. And then finally, here comes off the head. And you can see what a reciprocating engine does when you just use the starter. Here comes the fan shroud and fan assembly. Be careful around the radiator so you don't bend over any of the cooling fins. Now he's using an air tool there to remove all the bolts that hold the radiator in place. And here comes the dramatic removal of the radiator. This piece is called the bolster, and you'll want to clean off the gaskets. This shows removal of the steering wheel. The bolster contains the steering gear as well as the lower part of the cooling system or radiator system. That was the distributor cap and wires coming off. And here comes the electrical lead to the starter and the removal of the starter. This shows the removal of the distributor. Try to remove the distributor with its base. Here's the lower radiator tube removal and the side cover. This will show you your lifters. And you can remove the gasket material at that time as well. This is the removal of the bolts that attach the front end. And right now they're rolling away the two front tires. This is the puller that is on the front hub. And they just dropped it. So at this point, the entire front end of the tractor has been removed. And we're looking at the governor being removed and the timing cover being removed. And then here comes the engine. And here we are removing the clutch pressure plate from the flywheel. And when it comes off, you'll also see the clutch disc as well. Here we are removing the oil pan from the engine block. This is the sump, and we're going to remove that as well. Our goal is to get everything removed from the engine so that it can be taken to the machine shop. Our engine block is left for the machine shop where it will be bored and checked for cracks and examined in many different ways. I hope you've enjoyed our informative little video today, and all of the parts you'll need to restore this are available on farmallparts.com.